Please forgive. Somebody insisted on eating during the show because of the premise of the movie today.
That's right.
Yes.
But I think I made the right decision.
Mhm.
I do. I
think
regret
so.
nothing. So, it is what it is, kids. What? My sandwich just fell apart. Damn it. It's all right.
Call Danny DeVito. Let him know.
Look. Danny DeVito does not own Jersey Mike's. He's just in the ads.
He's in so many ads.
I know. Sometimes he doesn't even have clothes on.
In the ads?
No, in the shower, probably. Sometimes you don't even have your clothes on.
That's true for everyone.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I'm yeah.
I wish people would listen to me more.
You're a disturbing individual.
Me or Danny DeVito?
Either way.
Well, that's true.
Both.
That's true.
Welcome to the I Hate Critics 1995 podcast. We are eating with a purpose. So if it bothers you, I'm sorry, but the movie is called Heavyweights.
That's
so,
right.
You know, it requires food.
It does. And good food at that. Like, we are eating well right
Yes.
now.
Eating stuff the kids couldn't have when Ben Stiller was in charge.
So,
In their honor.
it's like Fuzzy said, too, going into this movie, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. And I'd never seen it before either. And I'm a huge Judd Apatow and Paul Feig fan. So, like, you would have thought I would have gone back and watched this.
Heavyweights, directed by Stephen Brill, who's not a good director. But
he's not Brill.
He's not good. He directed Little Nicky, for fuck's sake. God, I fucking hate that movie.
Anything with Sandler in it. Can't do.
But yeah, that's the jumping off point, but it is also written by Judd Apatow.
Right.
So that helps. And starring Ben Stiller.
Mm-hmm. Ben Stiller.
Who took this performance and turned it into Dodgeball, apparently.
Well, this was the precursor. This was the template for Dodgeball, I think. Like, Tony is definitely... Well, and that's the thing about, like, Stiller commits to this role. Like, he's such a douchebag. And I love every second of it. And that's again, you're working with all these people that they all have, like, a really great kind of working relationship, and Stiller definitely had fair, like the full carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wanted it. And it was great.
And he does. The actual... Sorry.
Jesus, Sean.
Your professionalism knows no bounds.
That's true.
The actual star of the film is a guy named Aaron Schwartz.
Mm-hmm.
He plays Jerry. Jerry is a kid who is told that he's fat and that he's going to a fat camp, which I'm going to have to say the words fat a lot probably during this. So please, if that bothers you, I apologize.
Well, they say it a lot in the movie, too. So
this is a movie about a supposed so-called fat camp.
Right.
Where Jerry meets a whole bunch of new friends. They call it Camp Hope initially, but then the camp gets sold immediately to Ben Stiller, who turns it into essentially an attempt to create his own infomercial for his weight loss plan.
Right. Yeah.
Which would never work. Because what does he even do? I mean, what is his process?
He reminded me of, he's very, like, he uses, like, he's very Tony Robbins, which I think is what he's supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you see a very wounded child within. A very wounded child.
I was waiting for the scene where he like they did in Dodgeball, where he just breaks down and starts eating fried chicken and gets like super fat.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He doesn't.
I wish he had. I really wanted him to suffer.
Well, and again, shout out to Meara and Jerry Stiller in this too.
Very quick appearance.
Very quick, but I love seeing them. They're just they're welcome, even though Jerry can drive me nuts.
Even though Ben insisted on playing his own father in the movie.
I know. His dad was already in the movie. There's nothing he could do. No, it's again, and okay. So and then Jerry Did he do much acting after this?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's on a soap opera now.
Is he?
Aaron Schwartz.
Guys, he's fucking hot. No joke.
No, this dude went full on Chad after Heavyweights. Well, I said when the movie started, like, this kid, like, yeah, he's like chubby and whatnot, but like he's like 12.
Mm-hmm.
So like in like 3-4 years, he was gonna grow into this weight.
They all were gonna basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I hate it. Like, especially, I remember in the 80s, it was called Camp La Jolla. And there was like this whole like, and it was a fat camp. And it was a big deal. It's like, well, we just really want you to just be healthy. No, you are embarrassed of me. Just say it.
Mm-hmm.
Just say it, you know? So these were real things. These were real places that parents would send their kids.
I was not aware of the existence of so-called fat camps until there was an episode of The Simpsons where I think it was Martin was being tortured at one. But I thought, okay, well, that's just a Simpsons gag, so this probably is not a real thing. But then these two professional wrestlers, Big Van Vader and Yokozuna, were actually sent to a fat camp, and they used to tell stories about how they would sneak out in the middle of the night to go get fried chicken. Well, I mean, Yokozuna ended up dying at 700 pounds, and Van Vader was made to do a series of TV skits where he called himself a, quote, fat piece of shit.
Oh.
So,
What's that?
that's kind of the downside of fat camp. I don't think it works.
No. And I kind of worried about that when we were going into this movie. I'm like, oh, I hope this isn't going to
Just a
be
series
body
of
shaming.
little
and,
kids being humiliated.
Oh. And instead, it was all of them, like before, obviously, the camp gets taken over. They're all like really supportive of each other, and they laugh, and they're self-deprecating, but not to like a gross point, you know?
Yeah.
But you can tell that they all genuinely like each other.
Yeah,
There's
they have
immediate
so
camaraderie.
much fun.
Mm-hmm.
They like the camp counselors, which is nice because some of them can be real
dicks.
Eh.
Yeah. Yeah, and you get these camp, like, it's like what we were talking about, like, older people trying to be cool with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got Pat, and who I love, and I didn't even realize, like, he was top billed in this movie, wasn't he?
Tom McGowan?
Mhm.
I mean, he was near the top.
Yeah.
No one was really other than Stiller really got above the poster.
You know, Tom McGowan was great. He was their buddy, but he wasn't trying to be Mr. Cool. He just was him. He was just so very much himself. And I loved that. And he also gets the girl in the movie. Like, God fucking damn it.
Yes.
Hell
That was
yeah.
the best part of it, honestly.
Yep. Fun fact
It's
about
like,
Leo
no,
Leo.
he-
Go ahead.
And it was from the beginning, too. It wasn't like, oh,
She was
I
into him from the
like
start.
this other I like this other guy that got skinny. No.
Yeah.
It's
She likes
that one
him.
because he is sweet and he is a good guy.
She retired from acting and is now a Beverly Hills realtor selling luxury homes.
Yeah, her last film was Little Nicky because, you know, that would want to be, I'd want anybody to do. I want to walk away from acting after that.
Why didn't Sandler? Fucker just kept going. Well, I mean, you know, okay, again, we wouldn't have gotten Punch Drunk Love, which I do love. I love that.
Movie.
But
Sandler can act, and that's what really makes me hate him so much.
yeah.
That's the thing. Like, he can be very good, and then he chooses to not be good.
Mm-hmm. It's a conscious choice.
Yeah. I mean, you watch him, watch him work with Judd Apatow. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
He's fantastic in that movie where he thinks he's dying of cancer.
Right.
And him and Seth are fantastic in that movie, and Seth Rogen. And I just like that's just irritating that he can't just, you know, actually act. Like, just do your thing, man. You are actually good at this.
Right.
And the fact that you choose not to be just makes you an asshole.
You don't have to be our clown all the time. You know? we don't require a court jester. We don't want one, especially you.
His Billy Madison audience would disagree. Which, I'm sorry we missed Billy Madison. That would have been the movie 2 weeks ago.
Oh. Oh, God.
We had to take a 2-week break. So
I wish I was
missed
sorry.
out.
It's
It's a bummer.
don't want to ever sit through.
Missed out on 30 years of fucking bullshit Billy Madison.
No offense to the people that I graduated high school with, but shut the fuck up about this fucking movie. They still quote, they're like, oh, Billy Madison, one of the greatest movies of all time.
Billy Madison's one of the dumbest movies ever made. It made me hate going to the movies.
It made me dumber after sitting there.
You become actively stupider while you watch Billy Madison. It's impossible not to. If you're going to stay alive while watching that movie, you have to just kind of allow portions of your, brain to just die away so you can kind of maybe find something to hang on to while you're watching this terrible fucking movie. The idea, because you're looking at me like you're confused, he is a guy who dropped out of school in the 5th grade, and to get his inheritance of millions of dollars, he has to go back and pass the 5th grade.
Makes sense, right?
He actually has to go through all the classes, I think. He might actually have to go from like kindergarten all the way through high school, I believe.
And the jokes are so stupid.
He has to do it all
I bet they're
in like an 8-month period.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All the while, the beautiful Julie Benz is supposed to pretend that he's attractive. And it's like, she's just not bad. She's not a bad enough actress to actually make that work.
Right.
Right. She looks way too smart and attractive to ever find this fucking asshole, this obnoxious prick, to be attractive in any way. I mean, it's just him just doing that constant, like, he's doing that the whole time. Like, he's fucking, like if somebody gave meth to Pauly Shore, that's what he's doing in Billy Madison.
And, yeah, you know how that would go.
That sounds terrifying.
That's none of our business, is what that is. None of our business.
Yeah, it's unpleasant. And, I'm glad there's a movie like Heavyweights to think about rather than having to think in any way of fucking Billy Madison.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very surprised to like Heavyweights, but it was really a good movie.
What was your favorite part of Heavyweights?
I do like when they when they got the guy in the hole. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, Ben Stiller's leading them on a hike, and they're running. He's running through the woods, and then they kind of play a little prank on him and get him to run towards this hole, which they've already established is there early on, like a nice little bit of foreshadowing. They actually foreshadow the hole, and then they lead him back to it and drop him in it, and that's how they catch him and take over the camp.
Because he's just putting those kids through the ringer.
I thought we could have done more with that.
I thought so too.
Because again, The Simpsons did this same premise where they're like not necessarily a fat camp. I mean, there was a fat camp like subplot in that episode, but like they take over Camp Krusty, and Krusty is not there. Like Krusty's just totally just put his name on this shit and bounced.
That's so Krusty.
and like Bart leads a revolution because like he finally just loses his shit because it's like the worst camp in the world.
Yeah.
Like nothing works and it's like super dangerous and and so yeah, Bart goes on strike and like takes over, and leads a revolution and takes the whole thing over. Meanwhile, Homer and Marge are at home, and Homer's like he's getting his hair back. And he's losing weight. He's becoming like a really good husband, all because Bart's not there.
Oh my God, I forgot about that episode.
That's it. That's a terrific subplot.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, one of the best episodes of The Simpsons ever is Camp Krusty, when they have Barney dressed up as Krusty to try and fool them.
Oh, Barney. What my favorite Barney line is? You want to kill me?
Don't cry. Don't cry for me. I'm already dead.
Yeah. And he's laying in the gutter with that single rose. Oh my God. That's one of the best.
Yeah.
That's one of the best.
That's the film festival episode.
Is that man getting hit in the crotch with the football?
Yes.
I love that.
Homer's favorite in the movie. His favorite movie is man getting hit in the football with a crotch.
Well, so, again, Judd Apatow, highly influenced by The Simpsons and stuff like that as well for his writing. The great thing about Apatow And if you haven't watched Freaks and Geeks, please go do, because it's just so goddamn good. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. And he writes with heart.
Mm-hmm.
So this movie could have easily gone off to gross ends. It really could have. It could have been disgusting. But he reined it in. He made it. He made you like all of these little kids. None of them were like precocious. You know, like they weren't like they were like your real friends, just
Right.
how it is in Freaks and Geeks.
I thought the Josh character, Sean Weiss, I thought at some point he was going to turn into kind of an obnoxious character, but they sidestepped that very well. And made him kind of funny and clever in the same way he was in the Mighty Ducks movie, honestly.
Right. And
Which-
he's
The
such a good
weird
little actor.
the weird combination here from like Mighty Ducks and this, like they like the lead character, he was in Mighty Ducks. Like a lot of these kids were also in Mighty Ducks for some reason. It must have been a Disney thing because this is a Disney movie. But like Sean Weiss, he wasn't even sure he was going to be in this movie, and then they said you have to do this or you won't be in the Mighty Ducks sequel.
Oh, he's so great too, because he shows up in Freaks and Geeks as well. Like Judd definitely picked the people that he liked the best, and just like, yeah, young Keenan in this.
Keenan
movie. I
Thompson.
love that. So good to see him.
Pre-Keenan and Kel, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess this is even before that.
I'll take it. Free Goodburger.
Oh my
Hate it.
god.
I hate it.
Kids I babysat made me watch that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the ones that I watched for the longest time.
Mm,
The boys wanted to watch it.
good burger.
And the second one.
Yeah, there is a sequel to that.
What's up?
There's a
Mr.
sequel I think it was during the pandemic that came out.
Mm,
No.
Yeah.
That's why they made me watch. I think it was like it was right before the pandemic, maybe?
Perhaps. I mean, I just remember it because they were initially they talked about it being a theatrical release, and then of course the theaters shut down, and
Fuck that.
yeah, so, and that's when that's about the time Paramount Plus launched, and Paramount Plus, of course, is where you can watch Good Burger and its sequel. In case you were wondering,
I'm not going to. I mean, thanks for that, though.
Heavyweights is on Disney.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that you should watch.
You
'cause
should.
It's a good movie.
it's such a fun little movie.
Like the kids are so adorable. Like the fattest kid in the camp, Sims, just constantly crying and his nose is bleeding.
I love him so much. His tears in his eyes like put tears on mine.
He was so sad.
He's got such a sad little face.
Does.
He loved Jerry Stiller. So
Don't, because like when he started crying, there's like, I'm like, no, don't do that, don't do that. You could tell like this camp was really
well, like initially, like when you first see him, you think, "Oh God, they're gonna make him like a bully
bully. Yeah,
character,"
bully.
because
He
he's
was
like
gonna-
he was mean mugging, and then
Yeah.
just as soon as he finds out that Jerry Stiller and Ed Merrin sold the camp, he's just got a tear in his eye, his nose is bleeding.
He's a little gentle giant. Well, he's a big gentle giant. That's the whole point of being a gentle giant. But
Who now looks like a property brother. It's like
they're
it's
all
like-
hot now. They're all hot.
It's bizarre. Like it's like what's his name, Neville from Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, damn, dude. Matthew Lewis, my God, sweet thing. Now
Makes me wonder though, like what did they put these kids through on Heavyweights? They're like, I don't ever want to be perceived this way again in my life.
I think they all just grew up. They all just grew into their bodies, and they're such.
But Keenan didn't necessarily change.
No,
Not really.
no. Actually, he's exactly the same.
Yeah.
He looks like the
Yeah, he really has looked the same for like ever. I
Mhm.
remember seeing him on my shows when I was younger. He was
Yeah.
on Victoria's ones.
He always
Wasn't it-
seems to have. He seems to be like considering he's been famous for so long.
Right.
The fact that he's so well adjusted to where he could actually play a fat Albert in a movie,
Yeah.
like he's really like, it's not really necessarily about embracing being overweight, but it's like just like, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Exactly. Well, that's how I felt about all these kids. Like, they were just genuine, and they like what Fuzzy and I were saying in the car. It's like they liked themselves. They didn't like they were going to this camp, but you could tell that they didn't have low self-esteem. They liked themselves.
Yeah.
That's a normal kid. That's a sweet, normal kid. And that's why I like that in this. You didn't make these kids, self-loathing and with issues,
Yeah, and see, that's because they didn't make it a punishment
Mm-hmm.
at that place, and they had counselors that actually understood them as
Right.
well.
Right.
Like, it's a nice place to
Paul
be.
Feig has got just he's stealing scenes throughout this
Yes,
movie.
he is.
As he's the camp counselor who actually did lose weight.
So he gets bullied because he's skinny.
He gets bullied for being skinny. The kids all make fun of him for losing weight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and his little dance at the start.
Oh, well, so Stiller, his character Tony, plans this dance to humiliate the kids by inviting all the girls over, and when they started to realize, I think this is like he wants it to be bad, and that's when Feig's character Tim decides, well, fuck that, and he just gets out there and just starts dancing like a dumbass,
Dancing
Like a
the
complete
craziest
dumbass.
thing
kicking
you've
his
ever
legs out.
seen.
Yeah.
I don't know how a person can move that fast or that much in such a short amount of time, but
it was so great because he was right. He goes, if I do this and I end up looking like an asshole, it doesn't matter, because like then everybody else will get up here and we can all look like assholes. And then the boys end up kissing some of the hot chicks from the other camp. It was great. It was fantastic. And it wasn't weird.
yeah.
It wasn't. It was organic. There was the one girl that called her the Angel Girl.
Yeah, angelic girl.
And she's had an interesting life. She went on from this to Playboy.
And
But then she got married and has 2 kids, and she's got a famous husband, and she's very happy and well adjusted.
well, good for her.
Huh.
I mean, when you're young and you got the body, do Playboy.
Do what you want.
Fine.
It's like, I guess I'll allow it.
I didn't get to do it, but you kids have fun. That's fine. Yeah. So
You were going to say something about Leah Lale?
I already did.
Oh, you did?
I said that she was now a realtor in Beverly Hills.
I thought you had more observations.
No, because it kind of blows my mind that she just stopped acting. She was like, no, I'm done. Just done,
There are a couple of people who did that. Like the kid who played Cody in this, he's a systems analyst now. He didn't act after this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. I love that when these kids go on and do something, it doesn't have to, you don't have to stay in acting. If they enjoyed it when they were kids, but then they got older, like, yeah, I don't want to do that. There's so many politics to it. And yeah, get out.
The only one who really struggled, and it's you get kind of a moment of discomfort during the movie, is the character Josh, Sean Weiss's character, because he did disappear for several years into drug addiction, and he was there was this big TMZ story where they found him living on the street, just looking real bad. It was like he was in a lot of trouble, but he pulled himself out of it, and he's been, according to the last check, he's been 3 years sober now.
Good for him. That's awesome.
Nice.
Looks like you might have even been working for either Judd or Paul Feig again very recently.
That would make sense because they adored him. He was actually supposed to have a bigger role in Freaks and Geeks, but they couldn't get him because I think he was might have been doing Mighty Ducks or something like that along those lines. So they got other people to do what they wanted, but they still had him come on and play a little bully. He was like a football player in it. But damn good. Damn good.
I gotta say, I think my favorite scene was there's this adorable scene early on where Jerry's kind of, he's been introduced to the camp and everybody's welcoming him in, and they've nicknamed him Captain because he's got captain wings from the plane he was flying on. And he pulls Josh aside and he goes, I snuck some Oreos in with me. He goes like, cool, man. And then he goes, then everybody just reveals all the food that they're carrying. All these kids just start unloading just these massive amounts of snacks that they've snuck into this fat camp.
And hiding them in different little pockets around the room, they're moving the furniture out of the way, and he shoved all the stuff in the holes, and
the wood bars on the bunk beds. There's like a little topper that just pulls out, and it's like
it's got just
strips
a
of candy.
line of candy on it.
The little English kid, his stuff melted on the bus.
Oh,
so everybody just licks him. That was a weird scene. That was a weird one.
Well, they didn't lick him. They actually took their hand to him. He was my favorite, and I loved him so much.
He was such a charming little child.
And smart.
Yeah. Oh, he was so smart.
You can
That was
name
one of the
5
best
vice
commentaries
presidents.
on American culture is when they're doing the whole Fort Apache race at the end, right? So they're up against the MVP team from across the water.
The sports kids.
And here they are just killing it in these Apache games. And this little kid, they get into like, was it Intelligence Hut or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And he gets in there and he's just like killing it. Then he like all the artwork and stuff. Like he knew all of our vice presidents. Which
Yeah.
some of us don't even know them.
Yeah.
Just funny. And then he just like, well, you Americans are just so basically uneducated. And it's like, you're fucking right.
Yeah.
Nailed it. And I love that Judd wrote that line. You know? He's like, anybody outside of America, they're okay. The rest of us, we're kind of stupid.
Yeah, I think I can get back to when Nixon was vice president. It's about as far back as I can get. I can get every one of them.
Right.
Leading back to, I think, Nixon and Eisenhower was president. Nixon was his vice president. And then I just like, it becomes kind of a blur because like during World War II, like it was the whole trim, like there was a whole thing where we didn't have a vice president for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gets a little murky.
Yeah.
I cannot remember. MJ, who was Calvin Coolidge's vice president?
Was that more?
John Richardson.
Which is
The
weird. 'Cause
most generic name
that
I
could
could
be.
think of.
That would make like, yeah, John Smith. Bill Jones.
No, it was like Morton Fairbanks.
Okay, I asked. I said
I
Morton.
have no idea. All I know about Calvin Coolidge now is that his wife was more president than he was after he had a stroke.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he had a stroke like partway into his presidency, and then his wife was just like keeping people out of the room and like signing bills for him and like basically running the country.
Just like every woman.
You know what I do know is that I know the name of the 8.5 president of the United States. Oh, I did.
It's gone now? Is it
now.
gone?
It left for a minute.
Just remember to like reach up and try to
yeah,
pull it
I'm
back
trying to grab
Pull
it.
it back down.
Was
It's
it something referenced on Bob's Burgers?
No, actually, Gravity Falls.
Of course. Of course.
The 8.5 president. of
That
the
is such
United
a
States.
great fit on that show. That is such.
It is
so
it
goddamn
is
funny.
my favorite episode ever. It is. I love it so much.
Absolute genius. There's just no doubt about that.
Sir Lord Quentin Tremblay III.
There it is.
That
The
is
8.5
president of the United States. He appointed 6 babies to the Supreme Court.
Yep.
Waged war on pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
And issued the Depancipation Proclamation.
Why couldn't he be real?
I don't know. He also married a woodpecker.
I love that for him. I'm still stuck on the babies on the Supreme Court. Like that's a great idea.
He also
That's a lifetime appointment too. So
right, yeah. You know, and he rode horses backwards. He discovered the town of Gravity Falls after plummeting into it backwards.
Oh, God bless him.
And then he was kept, he encased himself in peanut brittle because he thought he could live forever, and he was right.
was an innovator.
Absolute innovator. I wish he was our real president.
100 years from now, somebody's going to listen to this podcast and think that's just history.
You know what? I'm adopting it. The reality we live in now, I don't want it. I don't want it. I didn't vote for Elon.
No.
President Musk.
President Musk. I didn't vote for him.
I feel like it's going to be intergalactic president eventually.
Wait, are we going to jettison him into space?
Yes.
Let's do that.
I sure hope so.
Let's do that, and hopefully that rocket won't break up over anything.
What? It's not too cold, Elon. It's not too cold. Your ship will be fine.
You'll be fine.
Forget what happened to the Challenger.
I'm not laughing at the Challenger, by the way.
No, I'm not.
I'm just saying.
It is not funny that Ronald Reagan forced them to send that ship up in 29-degree weather with the potential that it was going to explode, which it then did.
Exactly.
It's nothing. I'm not making fun of that at all. That's
Nope.
not funny in any way. because it's awful, and it's real history.
Real
that
history.
Reagan killed astronauts.
That's right.
For political points.
That's right.
You're welcome.
Thanks, President Reagan. Thanks for...
He killed far more people than that. Like, this was just
AIDS.
the most high-profile people that he
His fault.
murdered while he was president. So.
Of course.
He murdered so many people.
So many people. Trump has given credit. His body count much higher.
Right.
Much higher than Reagan's, I would say.
But
But he did have a global pandemic to help him.
yeah, I feel like that's cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Well,
you got Johnson and Nixon splitting up Vietnam, so I think that kind of brings each of their numbers down because they've like halfway through.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true. Presidents suck.
They do.
Just
I
straight
mean,
up.
I can't think of a good one, honestly.
I'm sorry, Obama.
Yeah.
I love Obama. I'm
Loved
gonna love
Obama.
Obama forever.
Obama's great.
Yep. I love Obama. But aside from him, fuck everybody else.
I really think I would have liked Kamala as well.
Mhm.
I think she would have made a good one.
I think you're right.
I think we should elect Ben Stiller's character from Heavyweights as president. Oh, wait, we just
We
did.
already did.
Yeah.
We did.
God. Fuck that. God damn it.
So Ben Stiller buys the camp, and he starts to turn it into a reality show where he's going to show his character as this guru who can help children lose weight, and it doesn't work. They immediately go Hogan's Heroes on him, and they find a stump in the woods that they're they exchanging money and food for. So I don't know who's on the outside helping them.
I couldn't
thought it was Pat.
tell what he took things out of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he was also buying things.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get that. That part was a little bit. Also, that just the scene is just so badly lit.
It's
like
so bad.
You can't even. You have to squint really hard to see what it is that's actually going on there.
I
So
thought
that's the kind of thing I wanted to see more of. Was I want to see Ben Stiller put his system in place where it's all really buttoned down and and the kids are struggling, and then they have to do Hogan's Heroes shit to get around it.
Yeah.
Hogan's Heroes, by the way, a TV show set inside of a Nazi camp. In which they held American soldiers, and the American soldiers would then, on a weekly basis, humiliate their Nazi guards via various schemes.
Yep.
Because television's fucking weird.
And hilarity ensues.
And then secretly, the star of the show is taping his many sexual encounters, leading to his bludgeoning death in a hotel in 1978.
I knew you were going to bring that up. I knew you were going to bring that up. It's always you're trying to work that in wherever you can.
The story of Bob Crane.
Yeah.
And John Carpenter. Yeah, I try and get that in wherever I can,
Wow.
You know how John Carpenter, not the director, John Carpenter, the other John Carpenter, bludgeoned Bob Crane to death with a camera tripod and then got away with it. Was never convicted.
Was unaware of that information.
Yeah. Carpenter used to like to film. He would actually be the cameraman for those sexual encounters, and Crane wanted to stop, apparently, and, he didn't want to stop because, he wanted to watch Bob Crane have sex.
Like you do.
Like you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a great movie with Greg Kinnear. If you want to watch, if you want to see the story.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
One of the best of 2002.
Yep. Really. If you're into that.
If you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you're into finding out that legendary TV stars were also fucking horrible perverts. No, I'm sex positive. If you want to record all your sexual encounters, fine. But he should have told the women he was doing it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, I know everybody hates hearing this, but a little consent goes a long way. And I feel like sometimes that's not said enough.
Yeah.
What's funny there, too, I went to yoga this morning, and they actually come around, and he gave us these little things that it says yes on one side and no on the other. That's you put down yes, then he can come over and fix your form. He has permission to touch your body to move your form. If you say no, then he won't come near you. I think that's awesome. No one's ever... I've been to yoga classes. No one ever did that before.
That's a lot easier way to tell, too.
Yep. And then he can just look down and go, okay, I won't touch you. I can just give you ideas from here. And,
Yeah,
Uh,
there's a great story going around recently, but Cameron Diaz just returned to acting for like the first time in 5 years, I think it was. Pre-pandemic was the last time she did a starring role.
oh, right.
And she's in this Netflix movie with Jamie Foxx, which is not a great movie, but it's fine.
It's fine.
But that's beside the point. When she got on set and she was doing kind of romantic scenes with Jamie Foxx, she found out that they had an intimacy coordinator on set, and she's like, "This is the greatest thing ever."
Yeah.
Like.
Because she hadn't had,
This is
she
one of the
never
few.
had one.
I've never been like. I started on The Mask, where like everybody was just like I had to like fight people to keep their hands off my ass.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah,
and now
absolutely.
she felt like this is like the first time in like her 30 year career that she's like felt really safe and comfortable on set.
Yeah.
Huh.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the world that we live in.
Yeah. It only took
Right.
30 years for
Right.
her career for her to actually feel safe and secure on a set.
I wonder if Trump's going to take that away, too. You know what? You guys don't need intimacy coordinators.
I've signed an executive order to ban intimacy coordinators on movie sets.
You sounded like the mayor of Springfield. On this day.
I've been watching a TikToker that does all of the things that they think that what all of the policies sound like. So it's a lot of things against left-handed people. They'll be like, we're gonna send all the left-handed people into a cage. We're gonna ban left-handed people, and then there's like a bunch of other things that he's gonna ban. We're gonna put all the bears in cages. I don't know.
All the babies on the Supreme Court will have to like abdicate. And then they'll all have to get jobs in a
Well,
mill.
see, you know what? That's a thing. That's an interesting thing, though, because babies can't speak to abdicate, so they're just stuck there.
Crying all the time. That's what I'd be doing on
They
that.
would grow up eventually.
Yeah, they would have to grow up, right? At some point.
You imagine arriving at age 5 and realizing the responsibilities that you have, like having to decide Roe v. Wade
Oh my God.
at 5.
But here's the thing, if you're 5
They
years
probably do a
old,
better job than
they'd
the
be
guys that
awesome.
are there right now.
You know they would.
Like, well, that doesn't sound fair.
No. No.
Everyone gets candy for breakfast.
That's
Thank you.
right. That's right. You want to have an abortion? You can have them with some waffles and strawberries. Go for it. I feel like they'd allow that. Because someone would be like, look, I'm appointed to the Supreme Court for the rest of my life. Do you think I wanted this? Wasn't even my choice.
You know what I just think about is like, well, on the show, if we were living in the Gravity Falls world, he would still technically be the president because he never signed the whatever it is.
The exit letter?
Yeah, like to release him from his duty. And so instead of doing that, he ate a salamander and jumped out the window.
Guys, I want that for real. Oh,
You can tell how many times I've seen this episode.
that's so.
That's the amazing
great.
thing, too, is like you've mentioned so many gags, and yet he was only on, what, 1 episode, 2
Yes.
episodes? Like,
One episode.
episode.
It was season 1, episode 8, called Irrational Treasures.
Oh.
It is my favorite episode of any show of all time. It is so fantastic in so many ways. And they find like this it was like revealed they were like Ronald Reagan was a woman.
Seriously?
Yeah. And then they found there was also like this letter about a giant baby found in an ice cap. And it was slowly melting. It would be, and that baby would become the time baby that rules over all.
I want a time baby.
There was a ton of them. I love them.
It really sounds like a kind and just universe in Gravity Falls, honestly.
So much better. I mean, the sheriffs are fantastic as well. Instead of fixing the fire hydrant when it broke, they just took off their uniforms and started running around in circles, playing in it like it's sprinkler.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah.
The sense of whimsy that we could all use right now.
Yes.
We could all use right now.
There's no whimsy in the world anymore. Who's being whimsical right now, honestly?
Yeah, whimsical and foppish. We want those people back.
Where are all the fops?
We miss the fops. Bring the fops back, please.
Haven't had a good fop in a while.
We haven't. I would kill to just have a little giggle and and I want that in my life because I don't like there is no joy and pleasure in anything right now in America.
Nicholas at least has the accent in the movie in Heavyweights.
That's
to bring it back to that for a moment.
That's true. That thing that we were supposed to be talking about, right?
Right, of course.
Nicholas, the little English boy.
Little English boy.
His lovely little accent, who nearly costs everybody the entire movie because he wants a Hershey's Kiss.
Oh, that sweet little boy.
But he came back. He came running back and tried to warn them, even though Ben Stiller was already there.
Yeah, right. Nice. Yep.
He gave it his best. That wonderful scene where they break into Ben Stiller's office while he's out on his run, which he's dogging it because he'd started late that day, so he did a 4-mile run. A 4-mile prance was more like
it really was a prance.
It was a prance, really, more than a run. But no, they forget that Nicholas is there, so I have to go back and get him, and he's just sprawled out on the floor, just with his hand in a bucket of like something, and he's just like stuffing his face. God, it was a great scene.
Was.
Are you all right?
No, we'll have to talk after this then.
Oh, do we need to pause?
I went to pay the T-Mobile, and your card went. I just wanted us to have internet. That's all. That's all I wanted.
Internet.
Give me internet. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I just, like, if I've got to come up with, like, something that I, like, Gerry, he's a sweet kid. He's not necessarily, like, a lead actor.
No.
And they do a great job of propping him up. Like, like Tom McGowan's a veteran character actor. He's been doing this for years.
Right.
You've seen him in thousands of things from the 90s to the past year, I'm sure. So he provides like a really solid support. But yeah, he's not necessarily like the most lead actor of lead actors.
No.
Especially when you've got Keenan there.
Yeah. That's
Keenan
true.
just sort of feels like a lead immediately. Like he's just so comfortable on screen. Like the second you meet him, you're like, that kid's a star.
Why do we do that though? Like, why couldn't Keenan have been the star of this film? You know what I mean? I feel like that's what makes some of these 90s movies just so white. It's just so white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we're not even trying. Of course, we're going to get the black kid because the black kid's going to be the funniest part of the fucking movie. Because every funny movie is built on the back of a black person. Except for the Christmas Mail movie. Fuck that. She's a terrible actress. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, that just pisses me off because he was so good.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just one of those things where you can't predict it. Like, you're just watching a movie and you're like, this is our lead. And then somebody else will walk in like, oh, hi, how are you?
Yeah.
You're fantastic.
Thanks for stealing the show again, Keenan. God damn it.
It's not his fault. He's just
good.
He just seems like
He's a natural.
Yeah, just a natural, just fully prepared for the moment. Just nothing against this kid. This kid had been in the Mighty Ducks movie before this.
Yeah. And he's fine.
He's fine.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have that it. That's why that's why you only know his face from this picture now.
He's hot. I know what he's saying.
He's got like a square jaw.
Damn good looking. Like
these amazing eyes. Like
those of you that dated Gerry when he was a kid, and like, oh, maybe if you lose some weight, I'd go out with you or something like that. And that's like now he's like, fuck you bitches. You know how hot I am now.
Full on Chad.
Full on Chad. Looking good. Feeling great.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Him and Sims. Well, like
Absolutely.
I said, Sims looks like a property brother now. It's like my standard of like
good-looking,
dark-haired guys. It's just like that.
They're always a property brother.
brother.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
There are like 10 of them, aren't there?
There's 3. But still,
they make them in a lab somewhere. I believe.
Guys, we're out of property brothers. Don't worry, we'll make more.
I believe Palpatine, like where he makes the Snokes, he also makes Property Brothers.
Yes. That just reminds me of another episode of Gravity Falls. There's a boy band and they just keep making more of them and they live in a hamster cage, a giant hamster cage.
Yeah.
They run on little wheels. There's 5 of them or maybe 6. But then anytime they need a new one, they just grow a new one in these like pods.
That's how we got in sync.
That's how you got Backstreet Boys. Don't invoke NSYNC. They didn't do anything wrong. Sorry, I was always an NSYNCer. I liked NSYNC. It's funny though, Fuzzy, because we were talking about, Sean and I were doing the music trivia last night, and New Kids on the Block came on. It was so bad. It was just
so bad.
So bad. And then we were talking about, I was bringing up Bob's Burgers.
Oh, of course.
Because we were talking about, there's always that one that looks like he's way too old to be in the band. And he's got kids at home and shit like that. It's like, everybody else is 16, but this guy's 30.
Yes.
Every time.
Oh my God.
Was that Alan? No, it's not Alan.
No, that's the younger one. That's everybody loves Alan.
Everyone loves Alan. Alan!
It's,
I know, it's going to bug me now because I'm going to be thinking about that.
See.
Yeah, Alan was the Joey McIntyre.
No, that was Boo Boo. Is that Boo Boo?
Boo Boo's the little one.
Boo Boo's the little one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That's definitely Boo Boo.
Let's see. His name is. Oh, I'm gonna get it. I don't say it.
Are you gonna get it?
Did you get it?
I can see his face.
So the band is Boys for Now.
Yes.
Boys for Now.
That's right. And then I'm trying to, because I know Boo Boo. I know when he's calling out the names, Alan. Hearing his name. Band members are Griffin.
Matt.
Matt's right. Yeah, because he's got the little mustache and shit. It's like, dude, we know you're 30. You shouldn't be in this band.
Matt's 17. Matt's like my age. Matt's 17. Okay. He's not.
He's not 17. He's not. He's married with 5.
Driving a fucking minivan.
Oh, shit. Anyway, Heavyweights was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm glad that we chose something that I hadn't seen before, that you hadn't seen before.
I didn't hate it. It was all right. I think the direction does hold it back a little bit. I think it's very amateur in terms of presentation. I think there's a lot that could have been done to improve it.
But I see why it's a cult favorite though for a lot of kids that watched it back then. Like, it didn't have a big box office, but there are people that went and saw it or that own it now and were like, Heavyweights, man, it was a great movie when I was a kid. Like, and it's cute. It's just a cute movie.
Honestly, it just wasn't bad. It was just like nice.
Yeah, just nice. Yeah. I'll take nice any day. Yeah. Better than whatever shit we've had to sit through.
It was woke. It was like
woke. It was, yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. The way we like it.
There really are no bad ways to be woke, just in case you know. No, but, it's actually a really good thing.
Yeah.
Nevertheless.
Yeah.
No, they don't make fun of the kids. It's not about making fat jokes at their expense. It's about these kids bonding and being friends and
taking their cat back.
Yeah.
Making sure that
being who they are.
Yeah. 100%.
The Blob.
The fucking Blob, dude.
We love the Blob.
One day, we want the Blob, man.
The Blob is it's a device that's like filled with air and it's in water and one kid lays on the end of it and another kid jumps off of a dock onto it and you just explode the other kid up in the air.
Just flying across the lake.
Paul Feig and Tom are trying to break each other's necks apparently because neither one of them knows what the hell they're doing. Tom just goes straight, just head first into the mat.
Yeah.
He's diving.
And Feig's jettison.
And then Feig
space.
barely gets any air and just nearly takes himself out, hitting the side of the fucking Blob.
I still want one.
It looks fantastic.
I don't wear swimsuits. I don't do swimming. But in the summertime, if you told me that there was a Blob out there,
there's a Blob.
You fucking bet. I'm taking off all my clothes and jumping on that shit. I don't care. Fuck it. I would sleep on that at night.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Dude, it's like sleeping on a trampoline when you're a little kid.
And then they
This is going to be a great idea.
they send that Sims kid off, and when he hits that mat, that other kid on the other end, I think it's Nicholas,
Yeah.
just flying in
flying.
there.
Into
And
the
just
next county.
No special effects at all.
No.
Yeah, that's just the pure, like, because Sims is the biggest kid in camp, and Nicholas is like kind of the littlest kid in camp, and it's great.
Well, and
Just demonstrates exactly the fun of that.
I remember Judd talking about that movie and saying, oh, those kids, he goes, we had so much fun because when we were done filming for the day, everybody just went and fucking swam and played on the blob and shit. Like, what's not to love about that?
That's fantastic.
It's a great way to make a movie.
I love that.
You're not going to be here next week.
I'm not.
Missing yet another show. Your lack of
Yeah.
commitment is
Yeah.
disappointing.
I'm trying to see if I will be here next week. Oh, yeah. Next weekend's my birthday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
And your gift
On
is
Sunday?
what? What is your gift?
My gift is the gift of gab. I've had it my entire life. What are you talking about?
No, your gift is the Hunted, starring Christopher Lambert.
Fuck off. I don't feel like that's fair. That's not my birthday gift.
that is your birthday gift.
That was the movie that came out.
That's the only movie that came out this weekend 30 years ago.
Why is it that
That
every
weekend, 30
time
years ago.
I have a birthday, I've done something wrong? Like, why is that?
I'm not sure. What did
It
you
was a movie.
Yeah.
what did you do to deserve a Christopher Lambert movie?
Some people would say you don't deserve
And
a
it's like-
Christopher Lambert.
And it's not even like The Quickening or anything like that. It's like one nobody's ever even heard of.
kind of like me.
Let's
me.
find out, Amy, just for you, what the premise of The Hunted is.
It's gonna suck.
So you know exactly what it is you're looking forward to.
Am I looking forward to it?
I would imagine you're greatly looking forward to it.
Sounds fantastic.
Does it?
New York executive Paul Racine, played by Christopher Lambert, is on a business trip in Japan when he meets the stunning and enigmatic Karina, played by Joan Chen. They spend the night together in her hotel room, and Racine returns the next day to retrieve his forgotten keys. But once he's there, he witnesses Karina's assassination by Kinjo, John Lone, the leader of a ninja cult.
Oh, dear.
Realizing that Racine has seen everything, Kinjo will do everything in his power to end the executive's life. Directed by J.F. Lawton.
Who the fuck is that?
Now I'm sorry I'll be missing it.
Right? Ninjas? I mean,
I
Christopher
love that
Lambert?
you're saying that, but you're like, God, I'm so fucking glad I have to work next weekend. So glad.
All right, I have to be off.
All right, fine.
He was the writer of Pretty
Goodbye.
Woman. He was the director of Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
You know I love that fucking movie, though. I really do love that
He was the director of Under Siege. Oh my God, he's the director of Blank Man. He's a legend on this show.
What's his name again?
J.F. Lawton.
J.F. Lawton. You know what? I need to write that one down because I will reference that again. We will reference that again.
Oh wow. He wrote, directed, and executive produced 7 episodes of VIP with Pamela Anderson.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up.
He also made one of the worst movies of all time, DOA, Dead or Alive. What a piece of shit that was. So that's like a porn video game that people just like bought to jerk off to. Like women just played, like, I guess it was supposed to be like a fighting game, but like most of the time women were just playing volleyball. Like these video game girls were playing volleyball in like really tiny bikinis. And like they somehow made this into a fucking movie.
What?
I don't know. I never played DOA, so I have no idea if there's anything more to it.
No clue. Absolutely no clue.
Yeah. He hasn't worked since 2008 when he made the movie Jackson.
Jackson.
Everybody remembers the movie Jackson.
Wow. Wow.
It's a comedy musical film starring Barry Primus. Who doesn't remember that?
I feel like a lot of people listening right now don't remember that. I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve Guttenberg was in it. So was Deborah Jo Rupp. Does that help? Am I making it better for you?
No. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Steve Guttenberg. I love him.
The Goot.
The Goot. He's the greatest. He's the goat. The Goot's the goat.
Oh, boo.
And I don't like to say words like that. So I said it. And I meant it.
A businessman versus a legendary ninja cult. How could you not want to see that?
Well, because it's my birthday, I'm supposed to be happy.
It features music by the acclaimed Japanese taiko group Kodo.
Cool. I don't know what you want from me.
Japanese drumming. It's not one of your specialties.
Is Japanese drumming?
Japanese. You have a secret fetish for Japanese drumming.
God, I'm glad you never read my diary. Please open it. Just like I just cut out many Japanese drums and just taped them to all the pages. It's a big deal. It's kind of a big deal.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, The Hunted next week, if it's available.
Happy birthday to me.
If it's not available, we'll watch Billy Madison.
Fuck you.